I'm Spencer.
I'm JD.
And this is the Itch Podcast, where we each bring a topic and talk about it for 15 minutes at the maximum.
Yeah. Special guest, Casper.
Yeah. I will be talking about where is your favorite place to play portable games.
Oh, you said mobile earlier. I was about to completely disregard that topic. I'm sorry. Mine is, what do you do when you have video game burnout? And I'll go over the definition as far as to what I mean. So,
Okay.
we're getting started.
Let's get going. Hey, baby. Mr. Richard, what's going on? We're also joined by, it's just Daniel, who also goes by Special Agent Cooper.
Oh.
I just figured out, by the way, where that came from.
What?
Special Agent Cooper? It comes from Twin Peaks.
Oh, Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
I didn't even think of it.
Aren't they reviving that? I could have sworn they're reviving that.
We might do a giveaway at some point. Maybe next week. I'll look into it.
Eventually.
Cool.
So
So,
let's
what
get
games are you playing, Justin?
Okay, so I'm kind of a beast. I was kind of killing it on Devil May Cry. I finished another Bloody Palace character with Lady, and I got what I believe to be one of the most time-consuming achievements, which is defeat Dante, who's on level 101 without getting touched. Woo, applause. Thank you. I've also been playing a lot of Rocket League because I screwed us up on the stream.
Yeah, he's terrible.
So it might have been the alcohol. So I'm like, hey, step your game up. And then
More alcohol.
me in the mirror is like, all right, JD, step it up. Those are hallucinogens that time. But after that, play a little bit of Final Fantasy. Definitely burning through all the KOTORs. Finished the first one. I'm halfway through with the second one.
Axe BMO, just for you, I will be doing a door giveaway. Special door.
This is yours.
Yeah.
You can walk through
Yeah.
with a free door.
We'll do a literal walkthrough.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I've been playing some of those games. I eventually want to get back onto Bloodborne because we were playing on the stream. I'm walking you through. You don't know how any of the bosses are, right?
No.
So this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
The next boss you're probably gonna hate or love, but regardless,
As long as you kill it for me, I'll be
I'll be there with you.
I felt like...
I was literally, it's like, I don't know how long his interest is going to be maintained. So I was like, I'm just going to book it and try and hurry up and get to 2 players because
Yeah.
I wanted to hurry up and get you past the Cleric Beast.
Yeah.
Who you don't really have to fight, but still cool fight.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Very lore specific. But what are you playing?
I am playing Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, snaps.
I'm getting into that.
Old school.
London look. I don't know what that is. Anyway,
London look.
so
Right. Aye.
if it's sexy, I like it. So I just bought a game called Ark, which is
Oh,
a dinosaur
Ark Survival,
hunting game.
yeah.
I haven't actually played it yet, but I did buy it, and I'm ready to start doing it. I'll hopefully have a review next week.
That is like Daisy.
You're right. That's what I
So,
heard, but with dinosaurs.
God, that's going to be a...
My
Might take
friend
like
has
2 or 3
my
weeks.
friend has like a clan that I can join.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
neat.
hopefully I'll just slip in there.
It's
and-
called a tribe.
Oh, is it called a tribe?
Thank you. Yeah, it is. But
Fair enough. So there's those games. I'm digging back into Professor Layton. Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Mr. Dick, rather.
We prefer phallus. Could you at least try to be classy?
Yeah.
And that's about it for me. Oh, I was playing Bloodborne, obviously, with you guys.
Yeah. And yeah.
Cool. All right, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's hit it.
I'll go first then, because mine's a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
My question is, where are your favorite places to play portable games? And these could be mobile games or portable games, whenever you game on the go.
Okay.
Where are your favorite places?
So go ahead.
A little story.
Oh god.
This actually came from a YouTube channel, not the topic, but my interest in it peaked because it came from a YouTube channel from Bossum Burf. Check out his channel; it's pretty entertaining. And he was talking about a game that came out a long time ago that I know you will know of on the Game Boy. Or no, it was on the Game Boy Advance. It's called Boktai.
Oh yeah.
Boktai is a game where you actually have to use the sun to power your weapons.
Was it Konami or no?
I think it was Konami because
Okay.
it was Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, yeah.
He made it.
That genius.
So he made a game where you have to go outside and play it at like the bus stop, which is where I always played that game because I did actually play it, and I liked it quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, would I prefer to play it out there? Because he was talking about playing it in the park and everything. And no, I wouldn't like to play any games in the park because I live in Arizona, and you will literally fry like an egg.
Fry.
So my question to you is, where do you like to play your games?
You know, I just thought about that. That game is restricted to certain regions. You can't play this game in Arizona during the summer. That's fucked up.
You will get a heat stroke.
Right? Our sales are down in the summer again. Yeah. Dale's like, what do you expect? Probably one of the most recent places that I remember is, so I still got Phoenix right?
Yeah.
I still haven't gone through it, still haven't like burned through it and whatnot. And that's fine. It's a great game. I like taking my time with it. The best places I like playing portable games are when I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
If I'm driving, or not if I'm driving.
Wow.
If I'm on the
dedication.
road, if I'm on the road, I like to play a portable game because it's like we're getting somewhere and I'm also doing something. I really like the double dipping concept of it. If I'm watching a TV show or something like that or whatever, I'll usually do it then. But that's not a place. Another place I like to do it is in the bedroom. Another place that I actually like to play games is actually I do like outside. I'm okay with it. Like, yeah, sure, it's freaking melting outside right now, but you know, when it's a little cooler and stuff like that, it's nice to just kind of chill for a little bit.
Well, Axe Bimo likes to play it at the strip club, porta potties, and his job at McDonald's.
Gosh, you're moving up, man.
That's management material.
When I was younger, I used to have a trampoline.
Yeah.
And I would take the Game Boy out there, and I would just literally just lay like this and play.
It is actually really comfortable.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It was great. Like, me and my brother, we had a cycle. Like, all right, play games, skateboard, trampoline. Essentially. And then it just repeated till the end of the day. And, sometimes I combine them. I jump on trampoline for a little bit, get off, and just...
Love up them Pokemons.
Yeah, man. Oh, it was about Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. If it's Game Boy, it's got to be Pokemon.
It's got to be Game Boy.
I'm kind of with Mr. Richard69, our friend. I actually love playing my portables in the bathroom, especially on the toilet, especially in the bath. Set up them candles.
Get some candles, get a little bit of wine.
Yeah.
White wine.
Well, white wine. Don't want to... Yeah. I'm not eating meat right now, so, can't take the reds. But I like to, I just like to play it when I'm taking a bath, a nice relaxing bath at like midnight because I have insomnia. And so
that's nice.
While I'm doing that, I just play a little, whatever's on my 3DS right now. It's Professor Layton.
Yeah.
And fun fact, when I was a kid, I'd play Pokemon endlessly because it's a Game Boy and that's what you do.
Yeah.
And my mom would always knock on the bathroom door because I would go in and just sit on the shitter for like 2 or 3 hours.
Dude, you're freaking like, your legs would give out.
Yeah. It's like, we gotta get the Elite Four. But yeah, it just
it's the only place I could concentrate.
Yeah, exactly. I could just sit there, and if I needed to take a shit would come out, I assume. And I would play there, and my mom would always knock on the door and be like, "Hey, did you fall in?" Like, shut up, Mom.
In my household, stop touching your dick.
Yeah.
Like, Mom.
So I'm sure my parents figured I was just masturbating endlessly, but turns out I was actually doing something much cooler,
Misty.
which was playing Pokemon. Yeah. Pixel versions of Misty.
Her legs are so long.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, road trips are a great place to play them. The only problem is that when you're playing it in the car and you're not driving, which I assume you're doing if you're playing a game, I hope. When you look out, when you're looking out, your inner ear, that's the term, actually works when you're watching outside. When you're not, when you're looking at this and you're driving, it actually can make you car sick to a lot of people.
Oh, really?
And that happens to me.
Really?
Which is unfortunate because I used to go on long drives to Casa Grande all the time.
Yeah.
Which is, to people that aren't from Arizona, which is assumedly most of you, that's a very long drive for us. It's about an hour and a half. And we'd go out there, and when she drives, I would be like, I got to play Persona while I'm out here. And it makes me sick to my stomach. So, kind of disappointment on that.
Yeah, no, that sucks. I've taken trips with people who have been like car sick and stuff like that. Can't even look at their phone, so it's kind of depressing. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, fuck, I could do it. Who cares? But definitely sucks for them. God rest their soul.
I did actually start playing Agario at work
Oh, really?
on my phone. So if anybody's from work is watching
the thrill of getting caught is contributing to the fun factor.
Oh, God. Is anyone gonna know?
I just ate him. Yeah, that's great.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Cool.
But all right. So next topic.
All right.
Are we ready?
We're
Freddy's?
ready.
Freddy's?
Anybody else has a topic?
Whoop.
Don't hesitate to throw it in. Eric decided to go to the bathroom, I think.
Permanently.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So we have room for one more topic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, the second topic is what do you do with when you have video game burnout? So, just to put it in perspective, video game burnout, as
You mean
defined by
the
me,
video game Burnout from Criterion?
which is a great game, but no, not that. I do have that game though.
Let me get you a medal.
Why?
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, you're a dick. So, the video game burnout, the way I define it, is when you literally turn on your game or your console or whatever, you don't want to play shit. Like, you, out of habit, you turn it on, you're just like, you know, you're not in the mood for a first-person shooter. You're not in the mood for an RPG. You're not in the mood for an action game. You're not in the mood for a side-scroller. You're in the mood for, right? Like, you just don't feel it. Like, what do you do? How do you break out of it? How do you get out of that phase?
Calisthenics.
Calisthenics. For those who don't know, calisthenics is essentially just speeding up your muscles, like running upstairs real fast and stuff like that. That's what you do.
No, that was a joke.
Oh, God. You got me. Anyway, keep going. What do you do?
It rarely happens where I don't actually want to play games.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm like a super nerd or anything, but it's to the point that I work a lot and don't necessarily always have time to play video games. So when I do get to play them, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
I love it.
And that's not to say I never get to play video games because that's stupid. I get to play them tons, like 5 hours a day is the opportunity to play them. So it's pretty rare that I'm actually like, I'm burnt out, but it does happen where my eyes will even get glazed over a little bit because I've been playing on the computer too much. So whenever that kind of stuff happens, I've been getting into working out actually.
Really?
I mostly do it at work, but there are times I'll do it.
Oh, you guys have
home.
a gym?
We do have a gym.
God damn, I need to work there. I would get it in. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll actually try to work out a little bit, because I'm getting kind of fat. Somebody talked about my pecs before, and I, got a little Baywatch stuff going on when I run down the stairs.
Well, that's normal. It's natural. Muscle jiggles just like that.
Does it? Well, these definitely aren't. Because I looked down the other day, and I was a little bit more supple than I think a male should probably be.
You're like, wait, this isn't right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer on that. So I do try to work out just a little bit, and I play with my kid. Yeah. She's not technically it's so weird, but anyway. Yeah. I play with her all the time, and we just throw her around. I actually made her bleed the other day, so I feel really guilty. Her knee hit her chin.
God damn.
Because I picked her up and throw her.
What are you like? Hey, wrestling, come here.
Yeah.
Off the turnbuckle. Yeah. Breaks her freaking.
But, no, she loves it though. She didn't even cry when she did it.
Really?
She wouldn't even show me that she was bleeding.
She's like, I'm a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like, do you like that?
But yeah, I guess doing something physical kind of helps, and then you can be like, oh yeah, that's why I like video games so much.
Yeah.
And then go back to that.
So mine is really.
And sex.
That does help. Contradictory. I play games to get out of video game burnout. So
what?
Yeah, hear me out. So this happened actually recently because I was running through KOTOR, right? I beat KOTOR, and I was like, I don't want to play anything. So the first thing I did was I just started watching movies. I was watching Netflix. I looked up the most bullshit ass movies to watch. It was just zombies from London, Cockney zombies or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll watch this. Watched it, stupid movie. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I watched another an action movie or something like that afterwards. Then I watched some weird cop drama. And I was like, this isn't helping. So I loaded up Final Fantasy, and I got on. And I just stood around and queued for dungeons, and I was watching YouTube videos the entire time. But I'm playing, essentially. I'm going around doing, stupid little things. And it got me back to wanting to play again.
Yeah.
I had a really good dungeon that I went through where I was just killing it. I was on point, right? It was like, oh, you ain't going to touch me. My freaking rotation's on point. The team is recognizing that I'm contributing, all that stuff. And I just had a really good run. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm back in this. I went through and I kept playing Final Fantasy. Now I'm okay with playing Rocket League, with Devil May Cry, all that stuff. So for me, I literally just grit my teeth through it, and I just keep playing through it. It's almost like an addiction.
That sounds very much
That's
like
an addiction.
It sounds almost unhealthy.
But it was for the sake of like the show too. Like I wanted to get back into it so I can keep going with KOTOR, and I did. But it's definitely so much easier for me instead of just being like I go to the gym, but it's so common for me to go that it doesn't really break me out of something. It doesn't make me go, oh, I did something special today. Because I'm like, you better go to the gym. Instead of, oh, man, I really hit my legs, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not to like, judge you or anything like that. Oh, if you're going, man, go for it. But, like, for my sake, because I do it consistently, I'm just like, fuck it. You know, like, it's not a contributing factor. I might go see a movie sometime. I went and I saw Mission Impossible. And I felt pretty good after that. And I was like, yeah, I want to play some spy shit. Loaded up the PS3, hopped in Metal Gear. Went to town, tore it up. No, I got caught like really quick. I was like, fuck this. So, I mean, burnout is always going to happen, I feel. Especially for us in our line of hobby, doing this channel and stuff like that. We're always going to have a time where people are like, oh, you know, do a video on this. And we're like, oh, man, God damn it. And then we do it, and then we're like a little more, I guess you say, drained.
Yeah, that's true.
So
one thing that always happens when you have the burnout is you kind of step back just a little bit, and then you're just like, what game do I really want to play right now? And that's always really refreshing.
Yeah,
it's like you'll step back, or you'll play a different game that's just like brain dead for a little bit, and be like, all right, I'm playing like 5 different kinds of games. What do I really want to play right now? And it's like, okay, I'm doing this. All right, I want to play Final Fantasy 14. All right, let's get back into it. And then
I guess that's a better way of saying it. Like, I actually did want to play Final Fantasy 14, but I just didn't want to wait for like 13 minutes before I queued up.
Right.
So I don't. That sounds really unhealthy the way I mention it, but
yeah.
It's just more of like I didn't know I wanted to play it. Yeah. You know, and getting in the dungeon, it feels great. You're running around, you're like, oh man, we smoking these guys. Yeah, we are. I'll take that. You know, whoa. But regardless, it's a lot of interesting.
Mr. Bonus Shot. Right now we're talking about what do we do when we have video game burnout.
Yeah. So like when you're just tired of video games, but it's a hobby, you know, it's like I'm sure it applies to anybody, even like major sports athletes. When they're in the season, at the beginning of the season, they're probably like, yeah, we're going to kill it.
You mean like MLB 2015 sports athletes?
God damn it. No, like for instance, football season, they're in preseason right now, right?
Tell me more.
Everyone's right, how do you win? Everyone's probably pumped just to play. But probably towards the middle of the season or towards the end of the season, they're probably burning out too, just like anybody else with a hobby. Mm-hmm. You can love a hobby, but you're not going to keep doing it the whole time. That's why a lot of artists, like even that are into music, take breaks.
Right.
You know, they'll just be like, oh, yeah. And they
refresh the palate.
Exactly. That's essentially what it is you have to refresh the palate. Sometimes it's finding a different game. I almost loaded up Skyrim for the first time. Like ever. I almost loaded that up. And then there was Fear in there because those are like right next to each other on my Steam thing.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, maybe.
Fear and because Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I was gonna be like, you either have the shortest Steam list of all time.
I do have a really short list. Like if I'm done with it, I take it off. So like the highlighted games, they're right next to each other.
Gotcha.
So that's cool for me, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then like old school games, like one of my favorite games to play when I got burned out from playing fighting games too much was Unreal Tournament 2 Championship, and it's kind of cool. It was a joint effort by Epic and I believe at the time Acclaim, and they did a Mortal Kombat themed Unreal Tournament.
Oh, okay.
So the announcer from Mortal Kombat was like headshot and stuff like that, and there were melee weapons in there. If you hit people enough, you can stun them, and you have to input a fatality, and then your character does it, and they're like, "Oh, finish him!" And then you do it. And you could play as Raiden on it too, so it's super cool. He can spin around with his little pipe and stuff or staff. It was great. I loved it.
Cool. Yeah, all right, here's another question that we got proposed to.
Okay.
By Mr. Casper. It was. Oh, I'll start the timer on this, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, next question is...
Thanks, Casper.
Thank you. how, if you were in charge of Nintendo and you wanted them to compete again with Microsoft and Sony,
Okay.
and what that means, use your own judgment. But if you wanted them to get back into that competition with them, how would you do it?
Okay. Well, I had a little bit of time to think about this. The first thing I said was,
We all did. That's why we posed the questions early. Anyway,
Well-
go ahead.
do exactly what they did with the Wii. Get a console that is able to reach a broad audience. Make games that are their games already do. Because the casual market is, I mean, we can call it the casual market, but at the end of the day, it's just people who are willing to buy games that they don't know as much about, that aren't as well invested into the gaming industry, that are willing to buy a game because it says Mario, or it says Luigi, or it says Kirby, or it says Metroid. And get that and then play it.
Yeah.
How do you think they did such a good job on sales? They competed indirectly. They weren't. It's like running a race that you were never there for.
Well, I think that brings up a good point, and that's kind of an annoyance I have with the question.
Mhm.
Not that it's a bad. Well, here's the problem: is a lot of people right now, especially as like older gamers and stuff, are mad at Nintendo.
Old,
Like the people that grew up with it.
Okay, so
We're like, what are they doing? Like, why would you get that? You got to get a PS4 and Xbox One. But isn't that the whole point? Like, isn't that what Nintendo's doing? Is separating themselves from that race, making their own race and doing it. So to ask the question of should we compete with them, it's kind of like that's completely anti what they're trying to do.
Well, I mean, that's interesting, but is it really a race if you're the only one there?
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
That's the genius of Nintendo.
To an extent, it hasn't worked out this generation. But last generation, they killed, and they're
Right.
definitely killing it on not mobile, on handhelds.
Right.
They're the only ones really in them.
Well, technically they're racing against the Vita, but it's like
we don't talk about that. It's not.
the Vita, Sony just fell over and then hasn't really gotten back up. The ambulance is there, and the Nintendo's still running the race, and then the ambulance is just trying to pick him up. Yeah, he's winded. It's bad.
Whoa! They
But,
got their second wind from the PSP to the Vita, but it was like a sprint.
Yeah.
And then they're like, bro, this is a marathon. Shit.
Yeah.
I
So-
trained wrong.
Nintendo's already doing it, but when you say compete with it, I guess maybe they want to say the question's
Equal
asking
console?
like equal number of consoles in the household, equal number of
Equal specs.
sales. No, that's the thing. That's the one thing you get into is specs. Like
You can't make a hyper-realistic Mario.
that, and they knew that. I think they knew that. They're like, all our games are kind of kiddie looking, except for Metroid.
Or Zelda.
Zelda you could make big, but again, they don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't need to spend $5 million to make Mario look like 1080p madness. They could. I mean, do we want them to? I agree with you that if you want to make Nintendo continue to be successful or more successful than they were in this current generation,
Yeah.
keep going with just innovating.
Yeah.
Find a way.
Well, I wouldn't use the term innovate. Just
would.
be different.
That is the term of innovation.
No, but being different doesn't mean you're innovating something. Innovating is like you're coming up with a new thing that is like foundation. You're setting grounds and stuff like that. They're not always doing that.
That's what they did with the Wii, and that's what they failed to do with the Wii U.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's
They're
what I'm
not
saying.
always doing it.
They need to go back to innovating.
Yeah, they need to focus more on being that kind. Like, my thing is this: is Nintendo is great. Yeah, I think they've done some stupid stuff. I think their kind of foresight, like for instance, they flat out said that they don't want third-party titles when the GameCube was coming out. It's like, what the fuck is the matter with you? It's perfectly fine. They weren't the best. No company was the best. But in the way that the market is moving, if they could revert to something of a Wii kind of concept where they're competing indirectly and it's still paying off, then they'll be fine. Who cares?
Oh, and make some games for the adults. Give us Metroid.
Oh,
give
my
us
God.
Metroid and that Zelda game, which they are obviously making, but just do that
Man,
stuff.
that one just keeps getting pushed back, though.
That's all right. They always do.
Yeah. They grumble.
But yeah, just make us something so that the adults can be like, all right, so I'm getting this for my kids, but this gives me an excuse to get it.
Exactly.
So give me that thing.
Yeah.
And they're usually pretty good about it, but this year's kind of going to be slow.
Do the inverse of what like Sony and Microsoft are doing.
Right.
They have games that are generated for kids.
Minecraft.
They're just yeah, right? They're just few and far between.
Yeah.
They should do that, but make that for adults. So that way everyone's getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the Wii U, what's like a really big thing that people got for Wii U? Like Super Smash Brothers. Okay, maybe Zombie U. And maybe a couple other things.
And
Not the top.
You know, one thing that people bash Nintendo about all the time is their online stuff.
Yeah.
But it actually makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you need friend codes and all that stuff, which they're kind of getting away from now. But
Thank
like
God.
all that friend code stuff and everything. But in these games, when they're for your kids and you're playing it online, do you really want them to be playing? Like, you have a Nintendo console, and then now you know for a fact when they're playing Mario Kart that nobody is screaming at them and talking about having sex with their mother.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But I think to an extent they should have, like Bloodborne, for instance. Bloodborne has a level of communication. You have gestures, right? Splatoon requires communication to be good at. Why wouldn't you input some sort of like preset, messages and stuff like that in there?
I'm sure they have it.
Do they?
I haven't actually played Splatoon.
Okay.
And if they don't, they should, but I'm sure they have something like that.
Okay. Maybe they do.
Mr. Bonus Shot, by adult games, it's
Games
hard. It's hard to say. It doesn't have to be mature.
Tone.
Yeah.
Mature.
So like Metroid Prime.
Yeah. We're not talking like, oh, you need to rip the dude's limbs off. We're saying you need to be able to play a game that you can take seriously.
Right.
If you're playing Super Mario Sunshine, you're not going, oh God, I gotta get this fucking star. Peach is done for. You're not thinking that. In Metroid Prime, you're thinking, oh man, look at this, fauna. Oh, it's crazy. Oh, a beast came out. Oh, I gotta kill it. Freaking like challenging mature stuff. Oh, I blew up the beast. Like,
so Mario isn't a bad game. It's not. I'm not that we're saying it's a bad game by any means. It's just fantastic.
It just doesn't fit the mold.
Yeah, when you want an adult game and it's like, okay, let me get something that isn't all sunshine and lollipops the whole time.
Exactly.
Zelda and Metroid usually do the trick.
Yeah, especially
Nintendo. And obviously they don't want third-party games that much. So
they're moving more towards it now, especially on 3DS. They definitely got them all over the place.
Love the 3DS.
So, but with the like a good example is like Twilight Princess is actually surprisingly mature. When compared to like Skyward Sword,
no doubt,
completely mature. I would dare say for its cartoony look, Wind Waker is actually pretty mature. You see the way you kill Ganon, like, oh god.
Oh, yeah, it's got little bits of everything in there.
Yeah, they sprinkle in some violent shit. But
Majora's Mask, I mean.
Majora's Mask is just god. You can talk about that for a minute.
There's an adult game.
But that's the thing, is like they don't cater to that audience, so I'm not inclined to get one. I don't have children. I know plenty of Americans, plenty of consumers in general. Like, screw America. We're talking everybody. Well, not screw America, but you know what I mean. They have, a lot of people may have kids, and they're like, oh, hey, I want to get a nice family-centric console, and that's fine. But it's just the fact of, what about the parents? What about the adults that are like, man, I want to play something where I solve a murder crime or something. Like, I want to play something like Mafia, or I want to play something like Devil May Cry that's a little more mature, where people are, just violent undertones. I want to play a Bloodborne-esque game for that. That's what they need to really make me get a console from them.
Yeah.
Because the only game I was going to get the Wii U for was, initially, before E3, so Metroid, Zelda, well, a few of them, and Smash Brothers. That was it. Smash Brothers isn't doing so well in the fighting game community as far as popularity, so I'm kind of like pushing away from it. But I'd still get Zelda, or if they had an actual decent Metroid.
For sure.
For sure, without a doubt.
All right. That's it for the show today.
Yeah. Stick around. We're going to go sit down.
We're moving to a Q&A. We're just going to get the chairs out, and for the rest of the day, all we do is Q&A for a little bit.
All right.
All right. It is debatable, Mr. Bonus Shot. It's a tough concept.
It is a tough concept. Because if it was easy, we would already had it by now.
Yeah.
So, stand by. Oh, God.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a like and comment below. We do videos including quizzes every Tuesday and a podcast every Friday. Check us out on twitch.tv/thisistheitch and theitchnetwork.com, where you can check out links to our podcast and our friends at Does This Game Suck? If you have any questions or topics for us, email us at theshow@theitchnetwork.com. And don't forget, we do new videos every week.